On today's episode of WatchJRGo, we are bringing 2024 to an end with a fleet update. It's time to see all the cars in the collection. And this one, it's a little bit ridiculous. What is going on, guys? I'm WatchJRGo, and today, like I said, we are here to take a walk around and talk about all the cars that are here. Now, like I said, it's a bit ridiculous. It's also a bit windy outside. You can hear the building moving right now. But some of these cars are mine, and some of these cars technically belong to Go Recyclers. And we've talked a lot about Go Recyclers in the past. It is, of course, our salvage yard that is full service. We pull the cars apart, part them out, and then list every single part after they're cleaned up, like really nice parts. That's all we sell. We basically only do Corvettes and Mini Coopers, but every once in a while we'll throw our hat in the ring with something else just because a good deal comes along. But we're not actually here to talk about the salvage yard, even though a lot of the cars are just haphazardly parked around. Let's start talking about my cars first. Starting with my 67 Camaro. We just finished going through this thing completely. Every single fluid got changed last week. That's right, it got completely fresh coolant, power steering fluid, oil, which is that new Lucas racing oil down there. That's kind of cool. And the diff was ripped off, resealed, and refilled. And there was a brake line that was starting to balloon when you stepped on the brakes. It was that right rear one. And it started, like the caliper had started to drag on me quite a bit. So all the brake fluid got flushed again, and that brake line got changed. So now we finally have perfectly clear brake fluid. Another gallon, so that's almost 2 gallons of O'Reilly's synthetic .3 went through this thing before we got all the junk out of it. But now it's driving so well. And the valves got adjusted. Valve covers got pulled, valves got adjusted. So it's for sale. If you want this thing, shoot me an email. The price is $60,000 and it's not moving. It's what I have in the car, and I'm not going to be taking a loss on this car because you couldn't build it for less than $85,000, $90,000 today. And it's always been polished, ceramic coated. The interior's new, like the whole car is fresh, and it's a really cool resto mod. 496 in it, 600 horsepower NA. It's the setup. And it runs on E85, which I love because it's cheap fuel, even though it drinks a lot of fuel. Every single time I drive it, it seems like it goes through 5 gallons, but it's a lot of fun for 5 gallons. And you know, at $2 a gallon or whatever, it's not that bad. Over here, we have the 1960 Lloyd Stearman Mercedes-Benz 220S, a W111. And very soon, the parts have finally all come in from Germany for this car, and very soon we're going to be finishing up the carbs. You can see I got them all loaded up and taken over to my dad's shop, and now we've got that transmission off the bench so we can start cleaning these. We're finally gonna have this Mercedes running like a top again, and I can't wait. That is gonna be a very cool development, and hopefully we'll be driving this thing, although at this point I'm starting to wonder if we're gonna be able to get the clutch to work. But it's gonna run really well, so it's got that going for it. This is just a cool car, a cool piece of history, and it won't be around too much longer as it is going on Bring a Trailer after everything's wrapped up on making it run really well. Check it out. Brand new Superstart battery too, just picked that up. So we've got everything. You guys wanna hear something crazy? You remember my dad and I talking about those giant, like 6-inch horns in there. Well, for some reason, when I had it on the jump pack, the horns weren't working. But now, it's got the craziest, loudest set of horns you've ever heard in your life. It's got a high note and a deep note, and you can actually kind of feel the horn reverberate through the chassis. It's really crazy. So now with that new battery, we are cooking with gas, and soon, this thing will be running. Up here we have a 2012 R56 that's almost done being parted out. The doors need to come off, and a little bit more interior needs to come out, and that thing can go get crushed. That is where it's headed to go, and the transmission from this sacrificed itself to go in my 2012 John Cooper Works Mini that I am unbelievably excited about. I know I got Rich's Hayabusa engine out of here like 2 days ago because we're cleaning up the shop, and we're getting ready to put that transmission right there in this car. But this is the Mini Cooper spec you want if you're into Mini Cooper. If you've driven a Mini Cooper, you're into them. I feel like that's a universal statement. They are such good cars. Unbelievably fun. They handle so well, and they make a bunch of power and put a big dumb smile on your face And this one, I cannot wait to have back. Obviously, JCWs are, well, the JCW GP is the rarest and most expensive. This one's just a JCW, but it has all the options, red interior. I love this car and I can't wait for it to run. And it's soon. But that's not to be outdone. We've got another Mini outside we're gonna go look at right now. Just look at this thing. Navigation, red shift knob, all the options, heated seats. The boost gauge is a little ridiculous there, but soon we'll be out driving this thing. This is probably the last nice day of the year too. It is somehow 58 degrees outside right now, and you can see the yard looks really bad. I can't wait to get all this stuff out of here, but there were a few deals we literally just had to jump on, so we'll catch up with all these here in just a second. But first, the Mini Cooper Coupe we just picked up for $1,000 that needs an engine. And we just happen to have an engine that came out of an earlier Mini, the first one we parted out, and that engine is gonna go in this car because we are saving the Mini Cooper Coupe because they're so rare and so cool. You just do not see these cars. They have such a crazy setup. This one's honestly pretty clean for 100,000 miles. It's an auto, it's got navigation. You can see it's got tweeters in the rear here. And these, everyone thinks these are convertibles. Unfortunately, that back window broke, but we're gonna get that ordered in. These are not convertibles. I know they look like they have a toupe, and that toupe looks like it would fold up, but it absolutely does not. They are fixed tops. Coolest thing in the world though, power wing on a Mini Cooper. You're basically driving a Porsche 911 Turbo S. Power wing, baby! The forklift, of course, has made its way over from the other shop and gets used all the time. There's a Touareg back here we've never talked about before, which is kind of hilarious. Here by the iron trailer where we put all of our scrap iron. Just got emptied actually, but this is a VR6 Touareg or something like that. 4Motion, air suspension. Oh, it's a V8. I don't even know what this thing is. I just know it was like $350 or something like that, and it's got some cool stuff in it still, so that's why we picked that thing up. I really just bought it because it has a complete chassis and keys, and that, the ignition systems and immobilizers are actually worth a lot. So that's the only reason that's here, is to pull a couple modules out and then off to the crusher with the Touareg. It's already been mostly parted out for a friend's Porsche Cayenne. He pulled everything he needed off the Touareg. Now the rod bearing SX4 is still here, which is hilarious. It'll be around for a little bit longer because it still starts, but it's dying. It does not want to be running. It starts knocking the second you fire it up. And then over here, a 2017 Ford Fusion hybrid, not an Energy. I wish it was an Energy. The Energies are worth all the real money, but we paid like $1,200 for this car the other day. Needs a transmission, and of course the transmissions for these things are worth like $5,000–6,000, and there's only one guy in the country that rebuilds them in California, so that's not a car anyone can save. It is unsavable, and it's not worth being saved because when you're done it's worth like $3 grand. So the Fusion is getting parted out, but it turns on and does everything it's supposed to do. It's kind of cool. Over here is a Frontier that everybody and their mom has begged me to buy, and they all look at this and they're like, wow, that's the perfect little truck. It's my dream. We paid $800 for everyone's dream here. And if you take a look inside, you can see the bags are blown, but it's got nice Pro 4X seats, other than the one where the bag blew. It has the factory Rockford system, which is a dream come true. The Rockford stuff is incredibly valuable in these things. Everybody wants to do a full system swap because they sound great, and there's a subwoofer. It even has factory aux in. Heated seats, like look how loaded this Frontier was. This was somebody's fully spec'd Frontier, and it looks good, and it's got good tires on it, good wheels, and then you come over here and you can see she's gone. She is completely gone. The rail's gone. So that truck is not long for this world. I need to get it out of here, but it actually runs and drives just fine. We've used it to pull this trailer around. So it won't live too much longer, but while they run and drive, well, I let them eat. This is a $300 first gen Titan I picked up the other day that came with 2 engines. The first engine seized up. So this was Brady's. He got an engine from a salvage yard, and they said it was good to go and it was warranted. He got home, put the second engine in this thing, and it had a rod knock. So This is now a dead Titan that we picked up for $300. It's got good wheels and tires, and we're probably gonna sell the bed wheels and tires and then off to the crusher with this. But you can see this is a sick Titan. He told me it wasn't loaded at all. It has big chrome. It has a big toe. That's so if you know the Titans, I've gone over all the options before. Factory big chrome, factory big toe. You can see the towing package there. The factory toolbox in the bed, which is an option that's also sick. The power sliding rear glass, rear seat entertainment, the bed organizing system, which is the coolest piece of Titan technology. This thing is a godsend right here. This thing smells inside. But again, no, we don't have the good climate control. It's single zone and no heated seats. But Rockford again. So I was super happy to have this $300 Titan, and we actually have a video of bringing this thing home. So we'll talk about the Titan more in a future episode and what we end up doing with this thing, because you guys know how much I love first gen Titans. They're the best one. After that, they weren't nearly as nice. They don't drive as well. They don't look as good. The 5.6 Titan is the one. Another C5 Corvette, because we were gonna make a video called I'm the Corvette King of Kansas, because we had 3 of these things the other day. But this is another run drive C5. We bought this one for a reasonable price because he sanded all the paint off of it. All the OEM paint, I think from PPG, is in the back. All brand new. Brand new clear, brand new base, everything to do this. But he sanded it down and realized he didn't know how to paint cars, so he had to give up on this thing. And that's why we got a good deal on it. And out here we have another C5 that's been busy paying for itself. This one also runs and drives, but the transmission is shot. I think it's also a salvage title, which is even better for us. Love it when they have salvage titles because they're just going away. But as you can see, we left everything together, sold the whole front end already and a bunch of other parts, tail lights, just a lot of parts are gone, but starts right up and you can go drive it around and have another Corvette go-kart, because we're good at turning Corvettes into Corvette go-karts. The engine from my old Jag F-Type is over here, and unfortunately all of this is basically trash now because it sat outside for like 2 rains and the spark plugs aren't in the engine. So of course I would say all the cylinders are trash now. And I mean, this engine needed head gaskets. It wasn't ever going to get head gaskets, so we're gonna tear it apart on the channel and let's find out together how cool the 6-cylinder that is a V8 with 2 cylinders cut off actually looks once we get inside this thing. The supercharger might still be good. It was totally fine. This is a stock pulley one because we put the aftermarket pulley one on the other engine when we swapped engines. And at this point, I'm just gonna pull it apart so we can throw it in the scrap iron. That's all that's left to do once they get wet. Over here, we have the most important vehicle in the fleet, my 2022 F250 Limited. And the other day, guys, I can't wait to tell you this. The other day I scanned this thing and it came back with 0 codes on every module. When have you ever seen a car do that? I'll put the screenshot on screen right now. 0 on every module. What a great car. This thing, we're at 33,000 miles and it has been so trouble-free, nothing but oil changes. One time the check engine light came on, like a year ago. It's probably been a year since it came on and it turned off with the next key cycle. I never even scanned it, it never came back. So whatever it was not a big deal. It was just a here and gone. And other than that, this truck has been absolutely perfect. Well, outside it was probably starting to look a little bit like Sam Crack, but I don't have any chickens and I'm not farming yet, even though we do have the land and the neighbors behind us have chickens. So pretty close, pretty close. But in here, of course, we have Grandpa's F100 custom with the Holly everything. But the other day, it stopped starting on me. It started up, ran for like 3 minutes, and then randomly died. And I started it back up and it ran for 30 seconds and died. And I started it back up and it ran for like 2 seconds and died. And since then, it will not even fire. Now, when I turn the key on, I can hear the fuel pump run. And that was the end of my troubleshooting. I decided it wasn't worth chasing down the problems at that time because we had other stuff to work on. But this is probably next on the chopping block. We have to get it in the shop over there, which is a big pain now that it doesn't run, and start doing some troubleshooting. We gotta figure out what's going on. Do we have fuel? Do we have spark? Is there something going on with the fuel injection? Even though I don't know. It's booting up. It looks just fine. Touchscreen comes to life, tells me everything's good, shows me the voltage, oil pressure, coolant temp. Like, we've got all of our sensors, but for some reason, it's not running. So that's not great. And we have to figure out what's up with this because it's obviously really, like, this is the most important vehicle in the fleet. You gotta have the other truck to do work, and you gotta have this truck because it's the one that matters. My other Honda's over here getting a little bit dusty, my 22 Navi. This thing is perfect, and we use it to run to the gas station and just do all kinds of, basically take my niece for rides. But everybody rides this. I just let everybody play with it because it's just a fun scooter that everybody can ride it. It's so easy to use. It's just gas and brake, and it's just really fun. Only goes 40 miles an hour. So that's been a great purchase that we put quite a few miles on. So that is all the cars at the new house. This list hopefully gets shortened up a little bit. I don't even know what the count is right now, but it's getting up there. And now let's head over to my old house and take a look at what cars we've got over there. And then we've got one more stop to look at the rest of the cars. And now it's time to make a quick stop over here at the old house so we can talk about the cars that are over here. And there's not much over here anymore. You guys remember the days when there were always like 8 cars at this house? Well, now there's basically just 2. The Volt is over here on the Charger, which honestly it's driven more than ever now, but it gets moved between the houses, and it's just really nice. Anytime you have to go on a road trip to get the Volt out with Kama and go hands-free wherever you want to go. It's so great to just sit there and enjoy whatever you want to do in the car while the car drives. I love the Volt. And I think it's about time for an oil change. It's at like 30%. So I gotta add that to the short to-do list. So I change them really early. I change them when the oil life gets like 20, sometimes even before. And this one, like I said, on the to-do list soon. A lot of people in the live stream were asking if the Hype Wing was still around, and of course it is. Why would I get rid of the Hype Wing? This is probably my favorite motorcycle of all time now. It's just so good at everything it does. You're coming home late at night, it gets cold, turn on the heated seats and the heated grips and just keep living life. You don't even need to get off and add more clothes or anything like that. This bike makes it all easy. It's just reliable, fires right up, and drives across the country whenever I want. Even though I still stay prepared. We've got jackets, rain gear, everything is loaded up in this bike and always ready to go in case we have to deal with real weather or something like that. You guys know what it's like dealing with weather on a motorcycle. It's rough. The H2 is still over here as well. I know you guys probably didn't expect that to still be around, but still have the H2. Let's hop back in the truck and head over to Eric Murray. And over here at Eric's, we've got the Maserati Gran Turismo looking very dirty, but then again, a lot of dust is over here in general. You can see the 67's been sitting, getting dusty here for a while too. So soon, we're hopefully going to start on this. And did you hear the weight on the body is 2 years? Oh boy. 2 years, I talked to them at SEMA. So it might be pretty up front, but it's 2 years away from
this one's fine.
From being shiny. Also guys, Eric is back. I know everyone's happy to see him. He has completed his open heart surgery. He did it on himself, like a real mechanic would. He just sat down and operated. So that, of course, is the Maserati and the Camaro, and now I guess I own half of this 450 as well. I'm not a big 450 fan, Eric knows. I was like, that's just yours, because I think 450s are basically the fastest way to put yourself 6 feet in the ground. So I rode it once. I don't ever want to ride it again. Give me a 250 any day of the week. And last but not least, the Rolls Royce is sitting out here. Guys, the weather has not been kind to the top on this thing. The coating underneath the top has just given up completely and turned everything red. And then the S10 is over here with all of its extra parts in the bed. But it runs and is ready to go any day of the week. It's pretty funny. It just needs a wash, and it needs all the cat prints washed off it. Sure is pretty under here. Can you lift this yet?
No. Ooh, there's no battery.
Oh, we took the battery out?
Well, yeah, it's in the Camaro.
Oh, okay.
Because the red top went back.
I see. All right, that makes sense.
This thing will fire right up.
Absolutely, always does. I know a few people have been asking if I welded that mini to the lift up there, but I promise it's coming down soon. We had a bunch of cars that couldn't move, and they're in the way of this one that we have to push, and now we've slowly gotten most of this stuff fixed, and soon we'll be back on mostly the John Cooper works, because I'm very excited about that one. But that is the complete fleet update. Again, I don't know how many cars there were. It's pretty crazy right now. But if you want to, let me know in the comments below. Huge thank you to you guys for watching another year of our shenanigans over here while we work on everything on the planet just randomly, and having fun with different cars, driving a few different cars, and sometimes sending a couple of them off to the afterlife. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time.